I want to thank everyone tonight. We're at my house. I'm Jake Ishmael. If I hadn't had a chance to meet you, I am the director of Rocky Mountain Masters Commission. And as all of you guys know, around the world, Thursday morning we had a terrible crash with one of our vans as our kids were traveling to work at a conference, a fundraiser. And it was at that moment when people began to find out about that crash and how serious the crash was. People began to pray, and people we knew started to pray, and then from there, people who we don't know, who are believers, who are Christians, part of this kingdom, the word began to get out, and people began to take this situation before God, and it began to spread like wildfire. People just began to, everybody involved with this event, people began to text us and email us, and using different forms of media, they began to pour their love into our lives and just show us and tell us how much that they were a part of this with us. And for the last 2 days, we have not had a chance to communicate with the outside world. Only our immediate people are the people from our church and the families of the kids who were involved in the accident. And we had all of this communication coming our way from people who are praying for us. And this is the way we feel that God has laid it on our hearts to tell you guys, thank you so much for praying for us. Thank you for making our kids your kids and making our family your family. There'll never be enough words to tell you here on earth how much we appreciate it. And I want to give God glory. I know we're emotional, but I want to tell you that the doctors, the hospital is so wonderful, but we want to first say that because people began to pray, miracles began to happen, and we felt the prayers, and we want to thank you for that. And what I want to say is there's a community in Baker City, Oregon that I have not met any of you guys. And I want to tell you, on behalf of all of us, thank you for taking care of our kids. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being there. I want to thank the emergency personnel and the people from the moment the accident happened and how they were transported to the hospital there, to the doctors and the nursing staff and the churches and the community there who began to rally around them. I know some of you have met my senior pastor, Pastor Bo, but our church, we might never be able to shake your hands here on earth, but someday in eternity we'll be able to embrace you and say thank you. And then from there was a community in Boise, Idaho, who, for the students that were Flight for Life over to that hospital, that community began to, the churches, the businesses, the hotels, the airlines, everybody there, this is our way of saying thank you to you, so you can see it just from in our own words. Thank you so much for everything that you guys have done. And I know people here in Denver began to rally around our church, and just in these 3 distinct locations, people began to work on our behalf. And I just want to say this. Thank you, church, for being the church. There was no denominationalism. There was no one organization that stepped up on just at one point. It was people who just love God. In whatever role they can play in the process, they did their part. And then people who couldn't be in those 3 cities just began to lift us up in prayer. And all I want to say from my heart is thank you. With everything inside of me, thank you, thank you. If you can look, we have some of our students who we brought back, and they're resting and they're doing well. And we have 5 more that are in Boise, and we have so many that have come back, and it's a miracle that they're all standing here. And we've laughed and we've cried tonight, and we've celebrated, and we've eaten food. This is our home. This is how anybody would deal with this kind of tragedy. And I want Pastor Bo just begin to share about what we still need to do so you know how to pray.
Thanks, Jake. There is a lot of people. We can't thank by name everybody that's helped. When Jake and I left here on Thursday morning to fly to Boise, when that plane hit the ground, there were people standing there waiting for us to take us to the airport. So there's just so many to thank. And but we're not even halfway yet through all of this that's happened to us. The Rocky Mountain Masters Commission, Jake, New Life Worship Center, myself, we still have 5 of our family that are in Boise, and our hearts are there. We're glad we're home. We're glad that we're able to come here. There was a meal here for us, and people had prepared a meal for us. But our hearts are in Boise because there's 5 of our kids that are still up there. And so we're not even halfway yet. We've got to continue to pray. I'm counting on every Master's Commission program, right, every church that is going to see this. Every pastor, we're counting on you as we have prayed for you in crises. Who would ever have thought, come Thursday morning at 6 o'clock, that we would face this, Jake and I and our church family? Nobody. We read about this in the paper. We watch it on TV. But all of a sudden, it's here. It's hit us. And so we feel the pain of what other people have gone through, but now we need your help. And there is a power of agreement that we have as Christians. And that's when we stand together. We stand in the gap. And those kids that are having a hard time breathing, they're on life support. They're breathing because of a machine that is in a hospital room, and parents that are by their bedside with Kleenexes in their hands. We were there. We experienced that. Lloyd, Jake, myself, Eric, all of us experienced watching those parents in pain, wondering, will my child wake up any moment? And that's our faith. That through prayer, that those kids are going to wake up. They're gonna be in another hospital room, not in intensive care, but in the next couple days because of the power of prayer, because you're praying with us. That's my faith, and I want you to join with us. We know the power of prayer. You know it. So we're asking you to pray with us. We love you, and thank you for all of your support in helping us through this.